Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Now watercolor, because it is so transparent, it's not going to show up on this. So it's best to use something like pencil crayons or colored pencils, however you want to say it, or gouache or something more opaque. So I decided to use gouache. Now I have not ever done a full piece using gouache. So this is going to be a totally new experience for me. So I really went into this hoping that it was going to work out. Did it? I don't know. You guys will have to stay tuned to the end to find out. So to start off, I'm just trying to sketch out a giraffe. I decided to do a giraffe just because I thought the color palette would be really simple to try, and I thought the boldness of the colors would really stand out against the black. So I'm just using a yellow pencil crayon to sketch this out, and you'll notice that I keep adjusting it as I go, and that's just because I wasn't getting the proportions right. And I think in the end, when I was painting it, I managed to get it to work properly, but I just felt like the body looked way more like a horse than a giraffe. So with that really rough sketch, I'm just going to fill my palette. I'm using these Reeves gouache colors. Now these are definitely, I'm sure, not the best gouache brand to use. Reeves is a really basic student grade, and I kind of think that that's where I ran into some problems when I was painting. I do think that if I had a higher quality product, it might turn out a little bit better. Some of the issues I was having were just not being able to blend properly and not being able to properly mix the colors. Now, again, this is my very first time using gouache in a full color piece, so I'm not sure if that's normal. I'm not sure if there's a special way that you are supposed to blend the colors, but I found this was very, very different than, of course, watercolor. It's a completely different medium, and acrylic even, I found, because the gouache dried really, really quickly on the paper. So I'm not sure if that's just my technique I was using, or if that's how gouache is, or if that's because of the brand. I'm not sure. But my main goal here was just to put down a base layer for the giraffe. So I kind of created this tan yellowy color using a couple shades of yellow and a burnt sienna and then some white. Now the white is actually a Winsor & Newton gouache, and it is a lot smoother, creamier, and just nicer overall. The white is what I use for a lot of my watercolor pieces too, just to add those more opaque details. So the difference between gouache and watercolor is gouache is more opaque. It allows you to paint on colored surfaces or dark surfaces like this one, and you kind of get an effect that's in between acrylic and watercolor. I did use a little bit of water when mixing these colors and also on my brush to keep the creaminess consistent throughout. But yeah, I just found it was really hard to blend. As for the black paper, that I found totally fine to work with. I've never painted on a black surface before like this, like a paper surface, and it definitely held up. It absorbed the color really quickly, it dried the color really, really quickly, and it still had a bit of that watercolor texture, so it is thick. It's a 300 GSM watercolor paper, and it's just a really, really nice high quality paper. If you do gouache or even colored pencil work, this would be a really, really nice choice for you. I definitely want to try another piece using just colored pencils and see how that goes. So I didn't have a brown gouache. I don't know why. I had a little set. I couldn't find my brown. So to make brown, if you didn't know this, all you have to do is mix the three complementary colors together. So blue, yellow, and red. Mix those together. Add a little more of one, a little less of some, just adjust it however you want to, and you'll get a brown shade. So that is what I did here, and now I'm just painting the spots on the giraffe, and this is also hiding all of that more transparent layer, I guess, of the giraffe below. I could have gone over that body with that yellow shade one more time, and it would make it really nice and opaque, but I knew that I was going to go over everything with the spots anyways, so I really didn't bother. You'll notice also that I kind of adjusted the proportions of the giraffe as I was painting it. I brought the butt and the back legs in slightly just because I felt that they were too long. You can still see my original pencil marks there, but this is just something that I do like as I'm painting as well. I don't always necessarily stick to my pencil lines. It's pretty much just there as a rough guide. Now using a smaller brush, I'm just going in and doing the facial details here. I was gonna do like an opened eye, but I thought it was a lot cuter just with a closed eye with those kind of long wispy eyelashes that giraffes have. And for the feet, because the little hooves are black, I just decided to add some white gouache as a little bit of a highlight, just to still define that area and let you know that there are hooves there, but they're black. Now I'm just using the white, and I'll also mix up a lighter shade of that base color as well, and I'm going to go in and add highlights. I wanted some of the body areas to be lighter. I noticed on some of the reference photos that I was referencing, they have lighter faces and bottoms of the legs are lighter, so I really wanted to show that. Also, if you do add in a little bit more water to the gouache, it's going to make it a little bit more transparent, which is nice. So when it dries, it's not going to be as opaque as you see it when you first put it down. So you can kind of play with the colors that way as well by adding more or less water to the paint. So I'm just going to go through here now with my 0 brush and continue adding in all those details. I went around some of the spots, just kind of covering up some of that tan yellowy base color because I wanted some of those areas to be a bit lighter as well. And then with a darker shade, I'm going to try to add in some shadow detail. Again, I found this really hard. I'm not sure why. I think it was the blending and just trying to get it right. So I kind of did shadows that looked a little bit blocky. But in the end, I think it worked out. I don't think it really distracts your eye or anything like that. Here I was trying to define those creases and those bends in the arm and the legs. Are they just legs? Just legs. Yeah, I don't think giraffes have arms. So I added a darker shadow area and then I kind of highlighted the edge of that with the lighter color just to try to make those areas stand out a little bit more. So I think I'm done this giraffe. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think things could have been done differently. Gouache is something I'll definitely experiment with again in the future. I want to know if you guys have ever tried gouache. What do you think? Do you think it's challenging? Do you prefer it over other mediums? Let me know in the comments. So that's all there is from me. I hope that you guys liked this. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. As always, links to everything that I used are in the description below. I hope to see you in the next video.